Step number 1 to building a cornhole game facility is to get yourself a supervisor. You have to find a patch of lawn that's 27 feet from the edge of one cornhole board to the other. So I'm using a super long tape measure, and I'm going to go 27 feet. I'm at 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. And I'm just going to place a stick there to tell me that that's where the other board goes. Here's our area that we're going to have for our cornhole takeoff area. It's approximately 9 feet by 6 feet. As with any patio project, you want to make sure that the ground is level. So you want to compact the soil down as tight as possible. So you're tamping, because this is Tampa, for quite a bit. I mean, put in a good 15-20 minutes. How do you make sure it's level when it's a big long area? Well, you get a level that goes on a line level. And so you take the string and you run it between two wooden stakes, and then you make sure the bubble of the level is in the middle. And then what you do is you take a tape measure and you measure down from the string at various points. So right there, we're pretty much right at 9 inches. We are right at 9 inches there. So then you just start moving it. And it's about 9 inches there. It's about 9.5 there also. No, 9.25. So it depends on how much you want it to vary, but I'd probably only like to have an eighth of an inch variance. Once you do the length, then you're going to set the stakes up, and you're going to do it for the width of the area also. My friend Kyle Thompson of Modern Greaser fame came up with this idea, and it worked great when he laid a walkway. When he put a walkway down, he used this RMAT Plus 3 continuous insulation, which is really meant for like a house wall or maybe the ceilings. But if you lay this down before you lay your bricks or pavers down for your patio, the paver or brick kind of forms right into this insulation and doesn't move. It kind of locks it in place. What can I say about Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens? I will tell you, it's simply one of the best books that I've read in the last 10 years. I would say it's one of my top 10 favorites overall that I've read in the last decade. And why is that? Characters, setting, and mystery. The main characters just grab you right away. The main character is a girl named Kaya, and she is abandoned at a young age by her parents. Her mother leaves, and her father's an alcoholic, and he's nowhere to be found. And I want to say from like 5 years old and on, she pretty much raises herself in a shack on the, I want to say, Outer Banks of North Carolina. The town is not, it's a fictional town, but it's got to be the Outer Banks. And Kaya grows up alone, socially isolated. So what a great read for this day and age where we're supposed to keep our distance. She grows up totally isolated, raising herself, learning how to cook and take care of herself, how to find food, how to navigate a small boat through the waters. Just an amazing setting that is a character. The setting of the town and where she grows up in this swamp is as much a character as any other person in the book. And you really fall in love with the area. Now, the other two main characters are her love interests. It's a love triangle. There's Tate and Chase. And Chase ends up dead. On the cornhole pad, I did 2 bricks and then alternated 2 bricks the other way. And then 2 bricks and 2 bricks until you get a big square like this. you know, that's 2 bricks going this way, 2 bricks going this way, 2 bricks going this way. And it's just a different look. I think it's kind of nice, so just an alternative. All right, so one thing I noticed on these pavers, bricks are flat all the way on every edge, but pavers aren't. They have like a little bump. Actually, they have like 2 bumps. Well, what you don't want to do is get bump to bump, because if you get bump to bump like that, then the gap is too big. What you want to do, what's meant to happen, is they lock together so that it's only 1 bump wide, and then the sand can fit right in there. It's cement. You don't like it. Okay? All right, so the way I lock the bricks in, it depends on the lay of the land. So you just gotta kind of play it by ear, because this side is much higher than the other side. So I'm just making this little like skirt around it with some concrete. And the way I do it is you mix it without a lot of water, so you get a consistency like this where you can kind of play around with it. If you get it too watery, it's called being too loose, and then you can't get it on your trowel and like do anything with it. So this consistency like this, you can kind of take your trowel and you can just kind of smooth it, especially after it's dried just a little bit, and you can kind of smooth it, and you can see it gets nice, and you can even see a spot right there that's a little low. So that's where you get just a little dab more, and you just kind of work it in there. And you just kind of go over it again until you get it nice and smooth. Then you can take it and just kind of get the little crumbs off at the top. You can get too fussy with this step, which sometimes I do. You just do it too much. But just remember, the way you leave it is going to be the way it dries. So, but then if you come around here over here, you can see that the lay of the land didn't require on this side. It didn't require that little skirt. So I just put a dab of cement and then put the bricks right on it. Where the Crawdads Sing is the type of book that as you're reading it, you're imagining the movie version. You go through in your head, well, who's gonna play Kaya? Who's gonna play Chase and Tate? And obviously Reese Witherspoon did the same thing, because she made it a book club pick for her book club. And then she bought the film rights. And from what I read on the internet right now, she's busy turning into a major motion picture. So the latest is that the screenwriters have it, and hasn't been cast yet, but look for it. It will be a movie sooner or later. So the love triangle in it causes a lot of suspense, because one of her love interests is incredibly understanding and well matched to her, and the other is a popular person in town, and how they both come to know the swamp girl, as they call her in town, is all part of it. The town doesn't really treat Kaya well, even though she's described as being a very beautiful girl. She's scorned because she's different. She lives on the edge of civilization in the swamp, and they really don't know how she survives. Whenever somebody comes to visit her, she is scarce and disappears, and it's all part of the mystery and the intrigue with her. But she's the type of person that grows up around nature, the birds, the crawdads, the sea life figures in as much as any character in the book. We're in the final step here, which is taking a brush with stiff bristles, and we're putting some sand on top, and we're just working it in with the broom. You can see it fills in. Now, depending on how big your area is obviously how much sand you're going to need. But once you've worked it in, then you're probably going to come back and do it again a day later or so, because the sand will have settled in. There it is, the fruits of our labor. Now I am working the sand in a little bit more every day. Read Where the Crawdads Sing, and you won't be disappointed.